Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm Derek. Welcome to Men of the Den, and this is Monday.
Let's get sickening!
Yes!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another week here on The Den. This week on The Den is How Did You First Learn About Sex Week? So, just a reminder out there, things may get a little graphic in this video, so this might not be safe for work.
All right. So, Greg, how did you first learn about sex?
Why don't you go first, Derek?
Grade 5, had permission slips, boys and girls were separated, and really awkward conversations with teachers and other people in my class.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever watched that episode of South Park? The proper condom use episode where Mr. Mackey ends up hooking up with Mrs. Chokes on Dick, but they both have never had sex before.
Right.
That's what that sexual education has felt like. Yeah. I really feel like I didn't learn anything, and yeah, I don't really feel like I learned anything.
I mean, in our time, keep in mind, this would have been the late 80s for me and Derek.
Yeah.
So mine was actually in grade 4 when they did our sexual education lesson. And there were some things that made sense to me, like the puberty stuff. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Oh, I'm going through this. Okay, I get what
yes,
that's what's happening to me.
Right. And
okay.
I understand the whole puberty thing, but when it came to sex, I was very confused. In grade 4, even learning it in class didn't make a lot of sense to me. In fact, it was, I don't know, until my teenage years, I thought that women got pregnant by guys pissing inside of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I honestly thought that I didn't understand what ejaculate was, so I just assumed that the guy peed in the girl. I didn't know any better.
I just remember suddenly getting hard and then touching myself felt really good. And then eventually stuff came out, and I did not know what that was.
Oh my god, this is so graphic. Oh god. And in my case, I remember very vividly being 13 at my aunt's house. We were staying with my aunt at the time, and her boyfriend had a porno mag under his bed. I found the porno bag, and I was in the bathroom just looking at said porno bag, and all of a sudden, stuff shot out.
What?
I was very confused. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew was it felt good, but I didn't know if this was normal. Plus, because it was my first time, blood came out with it, so that was concerning.
What?
Huh?
Blood came out?
Yes, that can. So now, apparently, I have to give a sex lesson to Derek. So,
I never had known blood to come out.
when you're just like with a woman, when you come for the first time, it can have blood in it because you're breaking tissue that hasn't been used before. I know that now, but I didn't know that at the time. Yes.
So can you ejaculate from horseback riding?
Anyway, yeah, my feeling about sex education, obviously today's sex education is very different than the late 80s. I mean, we had to rely on books and reading material, whereas now all a kid has to do if they want to know about sex is Google something.
Yeah.
And not to say that that's the way as a parent you want your kid to find out about sex. Because you Google this stuff, and as you know, there's a lot of stuff up there that you probably don't want your kid to see. So
Tumblr.
So, first things first. As a parent, you should be prepared to have that conversation with your child. I do think that from my experience and from what Derek has said, that maybe, 7, 8, 9 years old might be a little young to have the full sex conversation.
I'm trying to remember now. So I remember there was a documentary. My parents decided, Derek, sit down and watch this. And then we asked me questions about things afterwards. So that was a nice icebreaker. Even though I really didn't understand why I had to watch what was going on.
My parents were much the same. We didn't really have a lot of discussions about sex.
Yeah.
It was mostly read this book.
Yeah.
Read this pamphlet. So there wasn't a lot of conversation. So, reading material is great and all, but without the follow-up questions, it probably isn't going to make sense to a kid. So keep that in mind as a parent. A, you're going to want to have that open conversation with your child, despite what they're learning in school. And B, don't let them find out on the internet. Alright, well that is both of our stories about how we learned about sex. So now I want to move on to some awesome MOTD news. Our calendar on MOTD is picking up lately. We got a lot of interesting stuff going to be happening in the next month. So just to kind of let you know, for an MOTD subscriber, you've probably noticed that we've had a couple of new videos pop up in the last few weeks called MOTD News, which is a new feature that we're working on getting up and running. So if you're not a subscriber, you should subscribe. So hit that subscribe button.
Definitely hit that subscribe button.
But I digress. I digress. So the MOTD News is you're gonna see that being cropping up more, as well as we've got a Twitch feed that we've just got up and running, and we're gonna have some streaming video games of PlayStation, Xbox, and Stream all gonna be on there very shortly. So subscribe to the MOTD Twitch feed as well, which Derek's going to put in the links below.
So, of course, Tidal Wave is coming up. There's going to be the usual pool hangouts. Of course, our Drinking Down the World is going to happen, and maybe some other events may pop up. We haven't really decided on the whole thing just yet, but keep an eye out.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's mostly going to be the Drinking Around the World this year. But do approach if you want to be in one of our videos. We're all going to be filming likely poolside at different events throughout the week. So if you see any of us, feel free to come say hi and maybe join into one of our videos.
Or if you're Alaska, just come by and say hi.
All right. So your MOTD guest lineup will be obviously Derek and I.
I'm going.
Yes, but when you're not in a bedroom. And then we have Wednesday, Chris and Aaron. We have Friday, Eric. And we have our former Tuesday Cub and the person who is the whole reason this channel exists,
Will!
Mr. Will Smink will be there. So, as I said, feel free to come say hello to any of us. And, you know, we might get you in one of our videos that week, because we're all going to be filming at different events throughout the week. So, anything you'd like to add, Derek?
I think you covered it all.
Not everything.
Everything?
What about the closing?
As usual, like, share, subscribe, and tell us what you thought about this week. How did you first learn about sex? What are some awkward stories that you had growing up? And, again, enjoy the rest of your week, guys.
That's right, everyone. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
And the bees and the flowers and the trees.
I hate you.